Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and I wanted to talk about The Masked Mutilator. This is a Blu-ray that came out recently. Mine hasn't arrived yet, but I did watch it on Tubi, so if it's still there, you could probably watch it for free. It was released under the Severin brand, but not their main brand. I believe they used their Intervision film category to release it. This movie was like a 90s, I think it was 1994 movie put out by Brick Bronski. He was the director, and he held on, I think it was him or one of the producers had held on to the footage for like 25 years, and they didn't finish the movie because they knew it was like kind of too short. So what happened was they went to Severin, and Severin said, if you give us exclusivity, we'll put it out on Blu-ray on our Intervision line, and we'll finish the film. So that happened, and you'll watch this and you'll see it says like 2019 or whatever, or 2018, I forget what it is, on the back of the box, but it's really a 1994 movie, and it feels so 90s, which is great. The movie stars some ex-wrestlers who I did not recognize, which is funny considering I am a big wrestling fan. By the way, it's an East Pennsylvania local film. It has Brick Bronski, who it says was in, WWE and Stampede Wrestling. He was also in Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD. Jeff Sabak, who was in WCW and NWA. Doug Flex Yazinski from ECW. And James DeBello, who I think you will recognize from Cabin Fever. It's a 76-minute movie. Severin had filmed some wraparounds with Jim the Tank Dorsey, who I've met at conventions. He does Wasteland Weekend, I think it's called, where he dresses up like Lord Humongous from the Road Warrior. I've met him, I've taken pictures with him, he's a really nice guy. And all that being said, 1994 film about a halfway house, or kind of like a troubled youth house, where they send these kids, and the guy who's running the home is this big muscle-bound ex-wrestler who supposedly had killed a couple opponents in the ring. There is a cool scene with him wrestling and killing this guy, and he was known as the Masked Mutilator. And at the home, you know, the kids are running amok, they're pushing buttons, they're fighting with people, they're sleeping with each other, they're just doing everything that they can do to be kind of bad, I guess, teenagers. And he's trying to rein them in. Everything's kind of run down looking, very 90s-ish. Obviously, it's filmed in someone's home, and there's a new guy that pops up who's now there to work with the main guy, Jeff Sabich, and they're trying to rein in these children. That's the gist of the story. Meanwhile, there's now murders happening at the halfway house, and you don't know who did it. You're trying to figure it out. And so there's sort of that twist. And then there's this wraparound that ties up the beginning and the end of the story because those weren't filmed. But it's just a great 90s piece of low-budget B-movie cheese. Some of the acting is pretty stilted and bad. The quality was pretty good from what I saw on Tubi, but as I said, I haven't watched the Blu-ray just yet, but I definitely look forward to diving back into it. If you like low-budget B-horror movies and wrestling, I would recommend it. It's definitely fun. It has a charm to it, and some of the characters are fun to see their interactions and their arguments and the silly stuff that they do. I think it's great that companies find these unreleased films, pay to finish them, you know, in this case, film wraparounds or do certain things to finish films and then put them out, just like with Jungle Trap or other movies that Agfa and Vinegar Syndrome and Severin have done. I love when they finish movies and put out things that just have never seen the light of day. I think that's so cool. So I would recommend The Masked Mutilator for wrestling fans and B-movie horror fans. It's a very small scoped film. As I said, it takes place just in this sort of halfway house with these wraparounds. Everything has a grain to it, but looks pretty good, besides the wraparounds, which are obviously newer, so those were filmed with up-to-date equipment. But overall, I like The Masked Mutilator, and it encapsulates that 90s feeling perfectly. So if you haven't seen it, check it out on Tubi or check out the Blu-ray. Let me know, guys, if you have seen it, what you thought. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.